You're watching Taste of Victory.
Hey guys, as of this recording, yesterday was the final regional tournament for the Bandai December's events. That was Core TCG on December 19th weekend 2021. So we just wrapped up Core TCG, Karta Mahika, and TAC USA. So we got quite a few top 16 results to go through, provided by the TOs of those events, and also by Cameron Shenoy for Core TCG and TAC USA, where he gathered the information by reaching out to the players that participated in those events. So many thank yous to Cameron Shenoy and being a great resource for the community in this game. Really appreciate that. So this was, for many people, the possible last chance to get their invite. So a lot of people were going hard in BT6, especially as a refresher from the BT5 meta that overstayed its welcome. Let's go ahead and get started with this video, starting with Karta Mahika, which took place the earliest, the first one, on December 11th. So this was a, Karta Mahika has posted these all on their Facebook page. You can Google Karta Mahika Ottawa, and then you can just look at the comments. This is where each list is individually listed. So the first big takeaway that we could break down here is that out of the top 16, 5 of them were Gabumon. So that is Gabumon with a bunch of low-end Gabumons and some rookies, and then your tamers to warp up to Gabumon Bond of Friendship, and that was 5 of the top 16. So that's taking up a lot of slots in finalist placings. So that's going to be pretty popular. Going into this meta, the most talked about decks were Jesmon and Security Control, because if you watched the high tier locals, like webcam Discord locals, like Gaia Force Gaming's locals, shout out to them, and a couple of other ones, like I think True Champ Games is what they're called. In all of those events, you would see a lot of Security Control entering and placing in the finals of those events. And that's just like a little local thing. People are going hard with Security Control. So there was tons of representation. People expected that to be the #1 deck going into regionals. And then because of that, a lot of people expected Jesmon to do incredibly well because it has that access, easy access to ADP and to pop stuff, or start off swings with blockers. So people were expecting like Security Control and Jesmon to be the top decks. But in terms of representation, the most filled out of the top 16 was Gabumon, so it's interesting. We'll go ahead and take a look why. First up, we got the first place list for Karta Mahika, and this is a Jesmon deck with an interesting tech for its 5th mega being War Greymon, and that's only it. A lot of people like to run 6 to 8 megas, which is level 6 if you're not using dub terms. But this one only runs one extra one, which is War Greymon, which is great because it complements the Delicate Plan strategy, because for the turn you evolve into that War Greymon, you cannot set off security effects, I believe just options. I don't remember off the top of my head if it's all security effects or just options, but I'm assuming like it's just ADP, which would be options, which is great to complement that ADP. You know, if you don't see it on Jesmon, you still at the very least see it on War Greymon. It still gets security attack +1 for that turn. You still get the security attack off of your Greymon or off of Tai. Tai guarantees the 3 memory to go into War Greymon. It's a really great complementary backup mega to Jesmon, and I like that a lot. We see that it's kind of built on that, focused on taking that kind of lead, because you just have the Savior Huckmons and the Volcanic Dramons as your ultimate, so you're either hoping to do the restand shenanigans with the Greymon, or you're hoping to get the +1 swing off of Voltramon. We do have the 1 Gravity Crush, which is a very interesting tech because it lets you, if you're being choked or if you need a couple more memory to survive another turn, you can just gain 2 off of that and go into whatever you need after that. So this is definitely a very good standard list with its little techs in there, which I really like to see that kind of like personality paying off and getting first place. So that's really awesome. Then we see second place was actually Gabumon. So despite all of the representation, what ended up taking #1 was the Jesmon deck. And we'll see curiously how many other Jesmons were in top 16, so this may be a matter of like matchups, because like I said earlier, it does have a good matchup going into Security Control. It has a great one. It could swing through a lot of purple security, with Musketeers going to be a popular one. You know, ADP shuts that stuff off too. So it does have some pretty good matchups going into this meta. It's a really strong deck that has like a response for pretty much everything, which is why it took first here in the first weekend of Karta Mahika. After that, we got Ben Adams, who placed second with Gabumon, and we're taking a look at this list, and it does seem to be pretty standard Gabumon decks. The biggest text being, it looks like the Howling Memory Boost and Forbidden Trident, which seems to be more and more common actually, rather than just a tech like it originally was. We do see here the Madoki Betamon, and Kendo Garurumon was also a really good tech, but we see the Madoki Betamon, which shuts off your opponent's ability to gain memory outside of tamer effects. So in the mirror, it's helpful, but it does not stop Matt from gaining you memory, because that is a tamer, and you can gain memory effects through tamer effects. You can gain memory through tamers. But we have the Howling Memory Boost, which stuns, potentially giving you another turn of survival, and also give you that memory to go into go into Gabumon Bond of Friendship if you don't have Davis out, since Matt only gives you memory if you push out a raising area with the Gabumon or Garurumon, and it only gives you 1. So sometimes that may not be enough if your opponent is choking you at 2 and you don't see the Hammer Spark. So Howling Memory Boost is another good way to get into that. Now this deck we see here is the Forbidden Trident. This is a great card for the Mirror and also for Jessamon. Like this deck seemed to be doing really well to get second place at the regionals, and I do believe that's because it teched for the meta. Primarily here would be Forbidden Trident. The thing this card does is you get plus 2000 DV to one of your Digimon, and also that Digimon gains when attacking bounce a level 3 from your opponent to their hand. So against Jessamon, if you're just like a blocker away, like if they somehow set up too many blockers that you can't send them all to the bottom of your deck with Gabumon Friendship, you can get this effect. Now you're at 16 to not worry about Omnimon Blitz. You're at and you also bounce level 3s, like an additional one. So you can bounce their blocker. Luckily, Blanc is the blocker, which is a level 3, so it's affected by Forbidden Trident to help you secure lethal that way, which is a really cool tech. And in the mirror, it helps you shut off your opponent's Gabumons. Like if they're ready and only have maybe one Gabumon on the field, but they're ready and set up next turn to go into Bond of Friendship, you could bounce that one back, so you could delay them a turn because they can't swing the same turn that come out, so that will delay their Bond another turn. And then also just turning your Octomons and your Gorillamons, it's a 9000 DP and 8000 DP, making them incredibly safe to swing to security while also clearing board is incredibly powerful. Really gives you a lot of momentum, helps you chip away security little by little, and forces your opponent to respond to some wimpy little champion instead of trying to take care of your security. Forbidden Trident is a really great card. And you can also just whiff it at 0 security to choke your opponent to 1. It's a fantastic tool. And the Kendegurumon's awesome. I'm assuming that is mirror match hate, because I believe what it does is on attacking, it bounces back a level 3 to hand. So that shuts off your Madoka Betamon so that you can actually Hammer Spark. It bounces back Gabumons, like how I was talking about Forbidden Trident. It's just more of that hate. It bounces back Blanc as well. So it's, yeah, there's a lot of great techs here for the meta, and it's a really interesting way to prepare for that. Love to see it. And another thing we see here is the variety in just the top 8 is fantastic. I believe we have like 4 or 5 unique decks just out of top 8 alone, which is a lot different from BT5. Towards the end of BT5, we definitely saw more variety, but it was largely a lot of Lord Nightmon, largely a lot of Rookie Rush, and then you had like black and green here and there, straying here and there. So we got third place here was Rookie Rush. So there's a lot of Rookie Rush hate just naturally in the game now. Like you don't even have to worry about it. Like Jessamon just plays out these blockers that will stop their guys easily. A lot of people, Musketeer decks are teching in Mechanorimon, which restands and just becomes an infinite blocker against Rookie Rush. So there's a lot of hate, but as we see here, third place was still a Rookie Rush yellow-green deck, and it really worked out. Because if we look at the cards, we don't even see much of an upgrade. Is there a single BT6 card in here? Because this was a BT6 legal tournament. I mean, Jessamon got first place, but instead we see like no, I don't think there's a single BT6 card in here. But that just shows like the absolute consistency, power, and speed of Rookie Rush, just being able to take a literally like almost BT5 exclusive deck into BT6 and do incredibly well. Running pre-starter decks, because you don't have that memory boost to be able to search and get the extra consistency off it, and then later on the delay effect to get that extra 2 memory to make big plays. So instead, you try to go for the grind game, and you have that Magdramon to save you if you see it late game. So hardcast it, bring you back to 10 memory. Hopefully your opponent has no way to get past the classic securities or something like that. And we see the Magna Kidmon option at 4 here, which is really interesting to get that kind of hate over Gaia Force is really interesting. But I would assume because what it does is it deletes the Digimon with the lowest DP on the field, something like that. So I'm assuming that is for the mirror or for Gabumon matchups as well. Like for if they spam all their little rookies with all like 3000 DP or 2000 DP, it'll clear that board entirely. And then we do have that. In addition, we actually have the Gaia Force. I couldn't recognize it for a second because of the alt art. We do have 4 of that, so it's kind of like a security bomb, almost hybrid version of Agumon, which would explain the Magdramon, because not only does it help you starve off lethal, it potentially fuels those security bombs. So not only do we have Agumon Bond of Friendship making it to top 4, we have a pretty unique build of it. 5th place is where we start finally seeing some repeating, and that is another Gabumon Bond of Friendship. This one runs blocker, which I don't believe we saw in the other one, and we actually again see here the tech with 2 Magdramons. He has Cocytus in there, he has Howling Boost, he has Rattlestar, so he does have a lot of bombs in addition to his Tamers. because Tamers also count as bombs, they could really be momentum swinging when they come out of security for free. So he does have a lot of great targets to hit into security with that Magnadramon. So it's really interesting to see these decks put that kind of hybrid bomb style into their securities and have Magnadramon in there. I do think giving a lot of memory in this meta is, in any meta after BT4, is really dangerous, but it worked out for these guys and we're in here in top 5. 6th place, we got another unique deck. So I believe out of 6, that is 5 unique decks in the top 6. That is amazing. Great change of pace from previous metas in this game, and we have Black Royal Knights. So Black Royal Knights was hyped a lot as the meta counter. You know, it counters Gabuban pretty well. By extension, it counters Aguban very well. I'm not sure, just off the top of my head. Just when you just get so big that you don't even care about their blockers, but you do have at least options to annoy them along the way, so it's a decent matchup into it. The problem there is they're just kind of slow as the Black Royal Knights deck. But yeah, we do have Black Royal Knights topping here. We have the deck list laid out here, that Sun and Risamon promo, which is spiked recently. Really good cards, help you get through it. And then we have various amounts of Omnimons up here. Omnimon X being a really great target to be able to block attacks on swing. Omnimon X is really great against a Jesmon matchup, so I'm assuming it's like a tech for that. But it's also great in general. So it's pretty standard Royal Knights deck. Like, this is very similar to a lot of deck profiles I've seen running around. 7th place, we got another Gabumon list. This one seems pretty standard as well. I'm really surprised to see 2 of the topping ones have the Magnadramon tech. That's really interesting. And then we got 8th place, which now becomes... Actually, do we skip a list? Was the Gabumon 7th? Yeah, Gabumon 7th. 8th place, we got Jesmon again. So we're back to Jesmon, where we started to see some more doubling up. And this one is a lot more standard than the last one we saw, but definitely still has that Gravity Crush. It's a really cool tech to see people putting that in more now, because I know before it was not thought of as a serious red card. But now it's definitely a great adjustment to make sure you don't you have enough memory to not pass turn. And with the 2 Agoonies, I think this is really slept on. You should definitely be running that in Jess, because that turns any amount potentially into lethal and scares your opponent, since you only have so many options to deal with Tamers. After that, into 9th place, we finally get the Musketeers. So we see 3 Musketeers here with Bielstarmon, the pre-release Gundramon. Congratulations, Tyler. That's awesome. And this is Tyler from Gaia Force Gaming, so that is really great, man, because I'm not sure if it was in all 3 of these regionals. I know for sure he was in 2. Did great at all of them. He's just a cracked player, bro. You were so good. Man, shout outs to Tyler. You got Bielstarmon, Gundramon, and Bielstarmon, the old one, for that warp off the Imp monsters. You are running a ton of them. I really like that to put pressure, potentially remove a blocker, potentially just get to a quick Millenniumon. Really strong build here for sure with their Tamers. Tons of 7 costs to fuel up the effect. Yeah, so that's really awesome that Bielstar was able to get in there. 10th place, we got security control based around Bielstarmon. So the 3 Musketeers as a deck is really solid for sure, but Bielstarmon itself is really self-sustaining. It's really able to just keep recycling itself, and its options themselves are really great in a security control bomb-focused deck. You know, they are pretty deadly coming out of security, other than Jerwell Swarmer, which adds to hand. But it's such a powerful effect in this meta anyways that thank goodness it doesn't play from security. Adding to hand alone is pretty crazy. So yeah, security control Bielstarmon is definitely a nice deck for sure to look out for. And I believe this Digimon card over here is called Ornismon, so that's another great inherent pressure that security control doesn't always have to offer. After that, we're 11th. We got another Jesmon build. 12th is a pure War Greymon build, so I definitely want to take time to point this one out, because it's super interesting. War Greymon, this is straight up War Greymon with only a couple BT6 cards being the Dynasmon, New Tamer, and Waver's Breath. Other than that, I do believe, I think even Superiormon was BT5, wasn't it? This might be BT6. Other than that, that's it. It's and the Pulsemon. It's 2-2 split. I'm assuming, Hardik, let me know if that is the that Bandai online lobby test one, because that's the only 2 copies I have of Pulsemon as well, or if you just wanted that split. But yeah, War Greymon still able to put in work. I ended up facing one in the core 19th regional, and I had to work for it. It wasn't an easy clap at all. I had to work for that win and do off some pretty cool plays to actually get that win. And I know a lot of people in the Huang Zero Discord, where I'm hanging out daily, is talking about that deck and testing it here and there. So like, it's definitely still a meta contender, and it's cool to see putting in so much work that it got 12th at the Karta Mahika regional. But yeah, I'm in there all the time seeing talk about this one. I'm also hanging out in my Discord server too, which is in the description below, the Taste of Victory Discord server. Next up, we got 13th place, and this is security control, more of that. A little more standard, now switching over to kind of a black-yellow base instead of the red one we've known previously. Gabumon, and this is Gabumon Bond of Friendship. rather ancient Garurumon, Bond of Friendship, which is a nice tech to offer more versatility to the explosive plays you can do with Garurumon. So seeing it get it 14th to top 16 shows that it is able to like compete as well, not just the Rookie Rush kind of version we know. More security control, and then we got 16th place was another Bond of Friendship. After that, we go over to Tech, and once again, big thank you here to Cameron Shenoy, who was the one compiling this data, reaching out to the players themselves as well as TOs. So this one has a chart made by them, which is a fantastic breakdown because you always love to have that visual at a glance. And before we get into that, I always forget to mention, but if you're interested in picking up singles for any of these decks, in the description below, I have a TCG player affiliate link that helps out the channel. So that'd be awesome and super appreciated if you guys are going to get singles anyways, but never feel obligated. So into the breakdown, so much thank you to Cameron Shenoy for this. Great to have that visual at a glance. We see that again, last event, we got 5 out of top 16 was Gabumon, and here we see again 5 out of the top 16 was Gabumon. So there is no drop off between when these were a week apart, between Karta Mahika to the next regional, which was which was TAC a week later on Saturday. So with that week to prepare, seeing that there was like 5 in top 16, you think maybe people would text some hate, they would block it, they would gatekeep it from the top 16 on this regional, but it's not true. There's actually, I don't know how the conversion rate turns out, since we don't have, as far as I'm aware, that entire data from all the 400 people that entered, but as far as top 16, we see an equal representation of Gabumon as last week. So it's really interesting to see that the power that deck has to just power through this current meta is just really efficient and cheap. So a lot of people are also playing it too, I would assume. But yeah, we have 5 of that. 4 security control being the second most popular deck here in top 16. And then after that, we get really a wide variety of diversity. We get 3 Musketeers. Three Musketeers, that's really funny. We have a Rookie Rush, the deck just doesn't die. We have Justmon, Green OTK, which I do believe that was Tyler with Gaia Force Gaming. So man, shout out again, fantastic player, he's so talented. And then we got Gabumon with Ancient Garurumon, once again joining the Rookie Rush version in top 16, showing that it can also compete if you want to go with that one. But we do see 5 versus 1 of that, so I think it really comes down to being a lot harder to pilot and also having more chances to brick, because, you know, Rookie Rush inherently has the better consistency just because you're not looking for lines to Digivolve into, while Ancient Garurumon you are. Okay, so this is the first one, which actually only had 1 promote, which I don't understand quite well. I think promote either like max it out or at least 2, because it's such an amazing card that's able to close out games. But here, clearly it worked out for them. Like, they're here in first place. Congratulations to Alexander Gregg. Like, who am I to question? But yeah, I can't believe I was talking about the 13th place this whole time. My bad. So the first place list for 3 Musketeers was 1 copy of promote. And then we see, other than that, pretty standard. We got the Rebellion. You don't really see a lot of ultimates in this style of Musketeer decks at all, because you're not really digivolving into them to bridge that gap between Champion and Mega, because if you want to go into your Mega, you can just warp off Deputymon. Otherwise, you're just hard casting stuff, playing Bailzamon with its reduced cost, you know. But that Rebellion is a great blocker. I'm assuming this is Chessmon hate, seeing as I won the first tournament of this Chessmon. When Rebellion digivolves, it gives itself retaliation, and that carries over to your Mega when you digivolve over it, because when a Digimon gains an effect, the stack gains it. So that Digimon is still the same Digimon when digivolving in spirit, you know. So it carries over the effect to Megas. So Rebellion having retaliation and potentially going into like Gundramon or something gives you a lot of pressure against Chessmon, makes them really scared to swing or lose their whole stack. So that's amazing right there. Really good tech. Other than that, this does seem like a pretty standard 3 Musketeers list, so that's great. 1 promote versus 4. I think typically people run like 4 promotes, just because this card is able to close games itself off of Sword. But we see that 2-2 split. After that, we have security control, and as discussed earlier, because of the cool black options that they now have and the good tamer that Joe and Izzy is, you now have more of a black-yellow focused security control list instead of red and yellow, because it's just more aggressive towards the meta. And then after that, we got security control. We have Green OTK by Tyler with Gaia Force Gaming. And this seems like pretty standard Green OTK. I think all I see in here toss from BT6 is just the horse, literally just the horse. Please correct me if I'm wrong. There's Arbitermon or whatever it's called. I don't remember its name off the top of my head. Arbiter's the guy from Halo. Yeah, the default over your tamers. But yeah, we have that card, and we have the horse. Otherwise, this is very standard Green OTK with the jamming Palmons. I wonder if that'll go back up after this top. But this is, I think, it's just more a case of Tyler being an incredibly skilled deck duelist and being able to pilot a deck so well like that. and this is like really awesome. But the Troymon is a really good counter to the Bonds because it stops, it like shuts off their unsuspend. You know, you slap them back down after they unsuspend, kind of waste one of them. So that is a good call for the meta. The Arbitrarmon, or whatever it's actually called, being able to swing one last time that green OTK is usually missing. If you don't have the Chaos one, it's another good option, and it makes it a little bit better. But in this meta, I really am surprised to see this doing so well, and truly believe it is a case of Tyler just being an incredibly great pilot, because we have security control being very prevalent. We have Gabubons and Agubons running a bunch of security controls, bombs. They can also rush you down. So for this to like not die to Gaia Force or something in security for a swing is really impressive, and to be able to get this far. So mad shout outs to Tyler from Gaia Force Gaming for sure. After that, we got Gabubon, we have Rookie Rush, Jessamon, Gabubon. So we see the top 4 ends off with a Gabubon. So we got 4 unique decks again in top 4. After that, we got Rookie Rush, Jessamon, Gabubon. So out of 8, 6 of top 8 is unique. So that's a really cool finish to see there. But yeah, so we see a bunch of Gabubon, and then we see Gabubon with Ancient Garurumon actually ending 10th. After that, pretty standard these lists are too. We see the Octomon coming in here. I don't know if we've seen, we have seen Octo before that. But yeah, and after that, we have 5th place being the Rookie Rush list, and once again, I don't see a single BT6 card in here. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Feel more than free to. But yeah, this is all BT5, and it's really amazing. This deck wasn't updated. This deck wasn't updated for BT6, and it's plowing through the meta like second time now, getting to top 16, which just shows just how powerful an engine on its own Rookie Rush is. It's insane. Where did that Rookie Rush place, by the way? 5th place. It's amazing. It's amazing. So then we go to the rest of the list. We have 7th being more of a pretty standard looking Gabubon. Another Gabubon, once again looking pretty standard in 8th place. After that, we have 9th was Security Control, again black and yellow, which is the new primary form. It's taken more Gabubons, looking pretty standard here. 13th was 3 Musketeers again, and I like to highlight this one because they have the same split of Millenniumon and Swart, because they're both great, fantastic level 7s. Swart being able to help close out games with Promote, because assuming with the memory boost you can just boost up into a range where you can Digivolve into Swart without passing turn, and then you have double Promote for game because Promote has Rush. And then Millenniumon is your answer to a bunch of only level 7s that stay on board, because none of your other options hit level 7s other than Trump Sword, and they have to be unsuspended. So the only way to get past a lot of 7s that stay on board, like Alter S or something, is to like send them to the bottom of the deck with Millenniumon. And I think Craniumon also really gives this deck a lot of trouble, so there you go again. Millenniumon is one of your only options to get rid of that, so it's a really important split there. After that, we got more Security Control and more Rollins. Pretty standard top 8, top 16 is looking like. And after that, we go to Core TCG. This is one I did participate in. So we have another breakdown courtesy of Cameron Shenoy. Thank you very much. And we see Gabubon still taking up the most spots in this meta. It has only gone down to 4 out of the top 16 when it was previously 5. So Gabubon is showing to be really consistent. But not only meta, I really do think it's important to note for how powerful of a deck this is. It's incredibly cheap. Gabubon, at least the last time I checked a couple days ago, was only $3 to $4 a piece. That is incredibly cheap when the rest of the cards in the deck are like $1 if you're not running that that promo Gabumon that came in the box toppers for BT6, which are just your Tamers, which personally a lot of us don't even feel are really necessary, because you're just going to bottom deck your Bonds, you're going to bottom deck the other Gabumons, your Lobomons, not your Tamers, because that's what it searches out. So it's not necessary. It's like a 1 or 2 of card. You could definitely make do without it. The on-play draw 1 Gabumon from 1.0 is a little pricier now. It's like $5, I think. I'm not sure if it's gone up even a higher sense. So, but other than that, Gabumon is definitely relatively cheap for the power. It's that's definitely something that cannot be understated for its relevancy. After that, we really interesting to point out here is Dan Vang, which I believe is also part of Team Gaia Force Gaming, I was told. So shout out to Dan Bang, shout out to that team. They got the best players. Like if you go full esports, you got the team of best players. You're gonna win every tournament, every team tournament. That's awesome. You know what they should do? They should get Huang Zero to host a team tournament, or get Taste of Victory to host a team tournament, and have Gaia Force Gaming just run through everyone. But yeah, Dan Bang top with Lord Nightmon. So as of this video, in this post containing the list, we don't have his list, so I'm assuming that he's going to do a profile on Gaia Force Gaming's channel. And if either of you guys, Dan Bang or Tyler, are watching this, feel more than free to link it in the comments once it's up, because I'm very curious to see myself if he did any cool, unique text to Lord Nightmon to update it for the BT6 meta and answer stuff. But Lord Nightmon's a powerful deck. It's literally the only one that we've seen here in top 32 even, I want to say, although I can't confirm that off the top of my head since we don't have the full results. But yeah, Lord Nightmon taking first place, and I think that speaks to Dan Bang's ability as a pilot incredibly loudly. Like, dude is just super good. But it's also like, it's able to go wide, so it can compete with other decks that go really wide in this meta as well. It's making your board go wide while also DP minusing, so you're taking care of their opponents. A lot of the top decks just have weenies to spam the board, you know, until they go up to their bonds. So you're able to easily clear them with your DP minusing. There were some new cards that introduced more DP minusing in this meta. So I can see how Lord Nightmon ends up getting in there. That's really interesting. After that, we got 2 Musketeers, 2 Security Control, 2 Rookie Rush, and 2 Good Stuff Yellow. So I'm wondering if that's not Security Control. I wonder what that would be. Hopefully we see a list here. Then we got Lord Nightmon, the Justmon, Titamon, and Gabumon with Ancient. So it's really interesting to see Gabumon with Ancient is still able to talk into all of these each time, which congratulations to them. So yeah, definitely if you got that build too, don't let anyone tell you it's inferior to Bond at least. It gets the job done. But yeah, we see here we got 3 Musketeers, Justmon, Security Control in 4th, Master Dynas, War Gray. So yeah, just like yellow good stuff. Yeah, that's really annoying deck for sure because Dynas is constantly healing you, Master is trashing Security Controls, threatening security. I can see why that is topping for sure. Sakuya down here and the other yellow good stuff because Sakuya stops Bond or Justmon from coming out of security and just getting a billion checks. So that's really great. So these lists aren't in order, but we could like compare them to the names on screen and get a idea of who's who. So for instance, this one is here's by Albert, is Kim Dayun, 4th place Security Control. Kim, you're playing Security Control? You really wanted that invite, bro. I don't blame you. But yeah, we got Kim here. Shout out to them, friend of the server. With Security Control, again, black focus because that is the powerful options in this meta as opposed to red, a bit more synergy too, with Izzy being able to check your 3 security, able to check the top 3 of your deck and organize them in a way that's more beneficial to you. Here we have the 3 Musketeers list, looking at, as we looked at the previous one on the previous day on Tech USA. It looks pretty similar. I'm not checking palette names off the top of my head, so I don't know if it's actually the same one because it does look pretty identical right now. It might be this. No, we have different ones, just similar builds because that's like the standard Security Control, the Musketeers build. Just on here, pretty standard. Red Reamer is the only really surprising one. Red Reamer is pretty good because if they have 3 bodies on board, this goes from I think 7,000 or 8,000 DP destruction to 13,000, which hits a lot of stuff, and it's very easy for decks to go wide in this meta. So that's a really good tech in place of Gaia Force because it's cheaper. We have another yellow-green Rookie Rush because it's still a deck that's really powerful just for that level curve. We have 8mon. 8mon's amazing because it is a champion with 8,000 DP. Like, that's insane, bro. You're able to live so many checks. You're able to beat over so many ultimates even if they swing preemptively and you haven't dropped the 8mon yet. Surprise them with it. You have yellow Gaia Force, which is that Waver's Breath. It's amazing. After that, we have we got Tidal Loop. It looks like here, Tidal Loop topping. Congratulations to Tidal Loop. Great to see Titamon Loop get some representation. It's not the Dr. Pepper version that we popularized with Haze. Haze is baby. But we do have the Fortune Kaku because you like cycling all your guys from trash, you know, and then actually, I don't even think it's Tidal Loop because I don't see the sword in here as far as I'm aware. It's just pure Titamon with some aggression. I really like that. It's really great to see Titamon doing that one to top 16. More standard Musketeers, more standard. Actually, that's not pretty standard because this is War Greymon Yellow good stuff. So yeah, I believe this is it at the time of this post that he's been able to track down pictures of. But yeah, we have a really diverse meta to say. The clear best deck, at least in terms of representation at the moment, seems to be Gabumon Bond of Friendship because it is having so many of the tops being taken up by Bond of Friendship. I'm assuming the conversion rate is also probably really good because of the low cost of the deck. Please let me know if I'm talking too fast at any point in this video. That's a habit I have that I need to slow down. I really appreciate everyone letting me know when I do it. But yeah, it looks like between that, it's Gabumon, and then we have Security Control really being the second best deck in terms of representation at the very least. Security Control, and after that seems to be 3 Musketeers due to popularity of it right now. So yeah, it seems like the 2 best decks to take away and hopefully prepare for in whatever the next event will be is Gabumon and Security Control. I hope you guys found this useful because this is really cool to see this breakdown of our BT6 meta and see how actually diverse it is. And there's a lot you have to answer to, but the decks that can't kind of answer multiple decks at once end up doing best because Gabumon is able to outrush everything. The only really terrible matchup it has is Security Control because you just get blown out constantly by those options. But that is this meta. We have some fun tops here too, like Greedo 2K and Lord Nightmon. And then we got some big takeaways like Gabumon, Secret Control, Musketeers are the big dogs that are seeing most representation at the top. I think Jessamon and Gabumon, or Jessamon and Agumon have pretty good representation so far with their brickiness right now. I think they're only going to get way better and see more actual representation in top 16 with the starter decks that we're getting now. So it'll be interesting to see what the memory boost, how much that'll push those decks up. Because if we had the actual top 32 numbers, I would not be surprised to see if we had a bunch more Jessamons and Agumon Bond of Friendships in there. But that'll be the video. This was a lengthy one. I'll try to trim it down, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.